I didn't see you there, coming into my parlor, young lick. Oh, another story, is that it, what you want? So then you shall have it. Here, in the dead of night. I have time to tell tales, but still pressing business awaits my attention. I cannot tarry too long upon you and your education. But I will tell you a tale, and if you listen carefully, it will be the most important I have told you yet, for it is one that can save your life. I have told you about that which is behind you, above you, and near you. Now I speak about that which is beneath you. Why? Is something that is beneath you of importance? Please do not let that be the question that has crossed your mind. If it was your first impulse, stand out in the street and look up to the glory of the dawn, for you are not worthy of the blood you possess. Yes, I am speaking of those called by so many names, nasty names, like a rat speakers, trolls, corpses, monsters, cockroaches, abomination, and so many, many other foul obscenities muttered under the breath, or even openly mockingly to their faces, but those of a wise mind know them plainly as Nosferatu. Sadly, the wisdom of many Canaanites is so limited that that name evokes more derision than it does fear, and fear it should evoke, because their buck neonates are strong enough to rip a man's head from his body with one hand while looking the other way. That is what their babies can do. About that for a moment. No one ever remembers just how strong an Nosferatu is, because if you shake their hands, which so few do, they are quite gentle and delicate, not ever allowing you to have even the slightest notion of their true strength. Often, in many cities, it's not even known which one is the primogen or the leader of their clan. What, after all, who can tell one rat from another? Well, a wise man can and will learn these things. And many know. Oh, the Nosferatu are brokers of secrets. Yes, we'll go pay them some money and get information. Well, they are the masters of hiding. And while they do not play the courtly intrigues of the better-looking clans, they play politics on a scale that dates back to before the deluge. They play deadly games, and amongst their clan there are creatures so horrendous that they are now part of the body of fiction to which humans read their children. Yes, fairy tales contain many horrendous things, but there are no things from fairy tales in any of the other clans. There are quite a few of them in the Nosferatu. For those who call them monsters seem to forget often what monsters do, what monsters are capable of. Amongst their ranks are trolls, devils, and witches. Many names I could tell you, and I shall leave you now with just two for your pondering, and that being Grendel and Baba Yaga. Yes, they share the same blood as those Nosferatu lurking beneath us right now in the sewers, listening to every word we're saying, hidden in the darkness of the shadows. For while many clans have learned the strengths and secrets of obfuscate, it's a common discipline. The Nosferatus created it and taught it to the others. And when you create something, when you teach it to others, do you ever really give them everything? No. The Nosferatu are very giving, but only to a point. And at the end of that point can be the end of one's life. Their ability to stay hidden and remain hidden and elusive is so great that they are not noticed, that they are everywhere. all the time. They hear the eking whispers of the rats that they have watching you. And they know everything about you and me and you and you and all of us, from the top prince to the sleeping Methuselah to the filthy caitiff that was embraced one night ago. Their secrets are all on great computer files and held in the minds of all these Nosferatus, for they share with each other. Whether they are of the Camarilla or the Black Rose, they shall share. They are one clan, and they know each other in a way we never know them. They are a family, united by an utter disgust that they invoke in every other thing that thinks on the planet, and by a greater purpose still. You see, long ago, Absimliard, the founder, the progenitor, the antediluvian of their line, was not the lackey, the Segiskel, the groveling, filthy thing you may think he was if you have seen a Nosferatu play in courtly politics, and playing they are, for they do not tip their hand, and they do not care if someone leans on them, for they can have you taken out like that with a whisper into a certain ear, and what they're doing to kill you, they're being paid for. Think about that. Most have to pay tremendous sums to have an assassin brought to you. Others will seek Nosferatu out on a continuous basis, and a few words slipped into ears, and the blood hunt will be upon you, and you will be ash, never knowing why. Well, ash can often find its way into the sewers, but in those early times, Absimliard spit in the face of the god of darkness called Cain, sought to do in all that Cain had made his children. And Cain himself took Absimliard, who was the leader. Yes, it was not the leader. The leader was not of another clan, but of the Nosferatu. He was the greatest hunter, the greatest warrior, the strongest, as the telling of the old book says. And he was cursed and afflicted with ugliness, he more beautiful than all others, scarred with this hideous curse of ugliness, and in his deranged mind slowly begun to think, as best we can speculate, being of such thin blood in comparison and limited years, but it is speculated amongst those Nosferatu who have confided in me that in his madness Absimliard has thought that if by removing each and every creature that bears his mark, his blood, the blood he allowed to continue forward against the wishes of Cain, the great god of darkness, if he can have them all eradicated, completely plunge his clan into non-existence, then he will be free of this hideous, malign curse. And most of the Nosferatu that there are trace all their blood back to a singular fourth-generation vampire. And the others, the other fourth gens, are called Niktuku, and amongst them is Baba Yaga, the Iron Hag of Russia, and other monsters whose names are synonymous with terror. These are the heights to which a Nosferatu can grow. There are a few legends about members of other clans. There are a great deal about this one, for these are true monsters. The next time you see one sucking ass and scraping at the floor, remember that it's all just a game. These Nosferatu have warriors amongst their kind that are so powerful that they take up spear and seek to plunge it in the heart of something like the Iron Hag. Do you really think that vampires of such strength are really anything like what you see? Beware of what you don't see, because that is what kills you.